Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing the makeup book tag. I just watched someone do this video today and I decided it'd be kind of fun to do. So here I am. I did switch up the order of some of the questions because they're really weird order for makeup, but that's fine. Let's just get into it. So the first question is primer because that's supposed to be the first thing you use in your makeup routine. And that is a book that left a lasting impression. And for my primer, I use the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Rose Priming Water. I just like it. I don't think it actually makes my makeup last any longer. I just like the way it makes my skin feel healthier. So we're just going to do some of that. And my book that I have for the one that left a lasting impression is One of Us is Lying. Actually, I have the second book by that author, if I remember who the author is, but I never do. The reason this book left such a lasting impression on me was that I have never read a book with an ending that astounded me so much. Literally. I did not expect the ending. I still talk to people about it to this day because I just would have never thought of anything like that, and I'm amazed that anyone thought of anything like that. It's a murder mystery book that is kind of like The Detention Club. Very stereotypical students end up in detention, except one of them dies. And so, of course, one of the people in the room has to be responsible for their murder. But there's more to it. The person who died actually had this website where he shared secrets about people in the school, and as time goes on in the investigation, a secret about each one of the 4 people who were in the room is released, so they all have motive. But there's so much more that happens, and I'm still not prepared for it to this day. So that is a book that definitely left a lasting impression. Next is foundation, which I admit I don't normally wear foundation, but I'll put it on today just for you guys. I have the Too Faced Born This Way foundation, the only expensive makeup thing that I've ever really bought, because I started to splurge for some reason because I no longer know how to save money. Don't know how that happened, but I got my Beauty Blender here. We're just gonna put this in, and this is supposed to be my favorite first book in the series because this is everyone's favorite step, I guess, because it makes you look better. Let me get up my trusty dandy mirror here. Hang on, because I don't have a mirror right now since I'm on the floor. I'm actually filming at my grandma's house because I'm at my grandma's house right now. But let's see. So my favorite first book in a series has to be, and this is it. I have actually a couple I can say. So what I thought about for this question is I thought about books that I super duper loved the first book and then kind of didn't like the rest of the books in the series. At least not very much. And for this one I actually put The Maze Runner by James Dasher. I loved that first book. I've reread it so many times, and I still think it's honestly such an amazing book. So that's kind of what I put for that one. I don't know, I just loved it so much when I first read it, and I wanted to read it so many times, and I've actually been wanting to reread it. And I think it's just one of the most interesting books I've ever read. And then another book I could definitely do for that is Divergent by Veronica Roth as well. I also loved her first book and didn't really like the rest of the series or felt the need to continue, but the first book was just so strong. So that's kind of what I have for that, but we got a lot more foundation applying to do. I don't know if I'll fast forward through this or just cut it out, so we'll have to see. It's kind of hard to put foundation on while talking, I have to say. I'm having some difficulty with that multitasking level, so I usually don't use this much. This is my bad. If I use this, I use really, really thin amounts because it actually looks better that way. Because my eyes constantly cry for some reason. I have like a weird allergy thing on one of my eyes. And so if I put on too thick of a layer, my foundation will start rubbing off over there, and then my whole face will look all kinds of messed up. But actually, I haven't been having the eye problem as much lately. I think it's slightly psychological, slightly allergies, because when I think about it, it'll happen. So I'm guessing later today, my eye allergies will kick in, but like that's fine, because I'm not actually going anywhere. My plans for the day is to write a 9-page paper I have to write, and then that's my plan for tomorrow as well. I should really get on it, but now that I realized how much I have to write, I'm so upset and I don't want to. And I also wanted to finish reading a book today, because that's kind of like the reason I went to my grandma's, is to get a break from technology and stuff like that, because I don't have a computer here to go on The Sims and to just read a bunch. But I have to write essays instead. Does that look good? I still have more foundation. Gosh, I haven't applied foundation in so long. This is why I grabbed too much. I'm just not used to foundation again. Alright. And then the next step is supposed to be eyebrows, which I just think is weird. So I'm going to do concealer next, because that just makes a lot more sense to me. And then for concealer, it is a character you wish didn't exist, because concealer gets rid of things you don't want. And for this, I picked, actually, a book from the Dark Days Club, and I picked, his name is William, and he's like the Count of something. And the reason I picked him is because he's just kind of strikes me as, like, he's really nice to the main character, and he wants to marry her and stuff, but, he kind of creeps me out. Like, it added this weird sort of situation, because the guy that took the woman he was in love with is also maybe going to take the next woman he decided he's in love with. I don't know. I feel like he has some actually really sinister intentions that we just don't find out about yet. And I also really, really hate her uncle, because he's a horrible human being, but he's kind of like he is basically what guys were like back in that time, so I just poked myself in the eye. The Dark Days Pact takes place in, like, the Victorian era, and it's about a girl who suddenly gets involved in this secret society that kills these monsters that feed off of people's energies, and it just brings her into a whirlwind of trouble. So the next situation is Powder, which is the favorite last book in a series. And for this, I have Manners and Mutiny by Gail Floringer. It's the fourth book to the Etiquette and Espionage series. I loved this series so much. I've never read a book that's more fun than this series. Like, it's really nice to read just a fun, interesting book every once in a while, and that series was so much fun. And it's probably one of the only last books in the series that I actually like, because as I was trying to think about this, I realized I usually don't like the last books in series. To be fair, I haven't finished a lot of series, but I usually don't like the ending. Like, you know, like mocking, like, it's sad. Like, everything comes to an end, and, like, there's a lot of sad stuff that has to happen. And in this book, it's not. Like, they're gonna continue on, they have more exciting adventures, it's just, like, this part of their story is done. And I really enjoyed that, instead of, like, a depressing ending. So, that's why I picked that book. Man, all I feel like I can see is the zits that I have going on. Well, not necessarily zits, but little bumps I have going on my forehead. Because I don't have any redness right now, so wearing foundation doesn't really do anything for me, because I have nothing to actually hide, but all it did was show off a couple little possible zits I got going on my forehead. But, like, it's fine. I'm not mad. Oh, and for my concealer, I use the Maybelline Age Rewind, because it is honestly a really good concealer, and it's the #1 selling concealer in America. Interesting enough. Alright, next is eyebrows. Technically, I wouldn't do this next. I would do my blush and highlighter next, because I do my face makeup, and then I do my brows, and I do my eyes. So, you know what? I'm going to actually do that next. I'm going to do my blush. I would possibly put on bronzer. I don't always. I think I might today, though, actually. Do I have a bronzer with me? Yeah, I do. So I'm just going to put on a little bit of bronzer. There's no question for this, but I actually my friend gave me this Lock-It foundation because it was too dark for her skin tone, and I actually just use it as bronzer. But I also use a Revlon actual bronzer as well. It's like Sunkissed. I don't know what it's actually called, but it's really cheap, and it's actually one of the best bronzers, except it does have glitter in it, so it puts little flecks of glitter on your skin. This is just a foundation, so we're gonna put some bronzer on because I'm pale as all hell. I don't usually do this though. Just when I wear this foundation, I do actually, because the foundation matches my skin tone, and my skin tone's really pale, so it honestly kind of washes me out if I don't put bronzer on with this foundation. But now we have blush, which is a cringeworthy romance, which I thought was difficult because I don't really read romance books. So I picked, actually, What If It's Us by Becky Albertelli and Adam Silvera. But I actually picked this for a good reason. Their romance is supposed to be cringy and awkward, and that's why it's good and interesting and fun. It's because they're cringy and awkward people, and I just really liked the way it worked. So I'm not like picking a bad, cringy that I hate book, because I really don't usually think romances are cringy, even if I guess they are. They never bother me. I don't get bothered by romance the way a lot of people do. So I just picked that one because it's cringy but in a cute way. And for blush, I use a Profusion blush palette, which is only like $5, and it's honestly the best blush colors ever. So I really recommend. Now we're going to do our eyebrows. It's a book everyone should read, which is difficult because everyone should read a lot of like specific kind of books, I feel like. But for this question, I just picked one of my favorite books of all time that I think a lot of people would like, and a lot of people actually do like it. But sadly for this book, if you want to read it, you have to also read the first book, which is one of the worst books of all time, if I'm going to be honest. And actually, I'm going to spray a little bit of primer on, or I mean finishing spray on for my foundation because it needs it. I can feel it. Ah, it's been spraying wrong. I don't know what's causing that, but I gotta figure that out because that's just like unfortunate. We're just gonna do this. I forgot to put highlighter on. Yeah, this is a weird situation. I don't know why my primer's been doing this. I have another, or my finishing spray. I have another one that I can use. Alright, but for this, for my eyebrows, for a book everyone should read, because everyone should do their eyebrows, is I think what they're getting at, I put A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. It's honestly just a really, really great book. Like, it's one of the most well-developed book in, like, every way. Like, the characters, they're developing and changing, and you'll see a lot of that, and the world is developing and expanding, and the plot is so great. The plot is so interesting and different, and it's just a really, 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 really good book. And I definitely think that everyone needs to read it. But sadly, the first book, A Court of Thorns and Roses, I hate that book so much. I don't think it was a good book. Like, it felt like two separate books because there's like kind of two plot things going on. And it just took so long that I felt like it should have been two books when I first read it. So that was the first problem I had immediately. And then as time went on, I just realized that it just wasn't a great book for some reason. It's just not that interesting. Like, I guess you just don't get to see enough of the world, which is kind of the point, and that's why the second one is so good. But it just really, really bothered me. But the second one is so amazing that I'm so glad. Like, the only reason I ended up continuing the series is because so many people on BookTube were talking about how it's like, this isn't working well, the best book of all time. It's like, well, I guess I can pick it up. And it was the best book of all time. So I'm really glad that I ended up continuing it. I just wish it would have been better throughout the whole series. And a lot of people actually don't like the third book, but I love the third book as well. So I don't know really why people don't. Alright, next, after brows, is eyeshadow, which is fun. And this is a book with your favorite colors on the cover. And for this, I am going to use a couple different palettes, maybe. We're going to have fun with this. I have my Profusion Sienna's palette, and my friend just bought me the Zodiac palette by BH Cosmetics, which has a lot of fun things. So we're going to use this for, like, our base. But for the book that has my favorite colors on the cover, I went with Evelyn Hugo, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, because it has green, and I do really like a forest green color. And I thought it was really pretty, so I'm going with that book for my favorite color. This, I think I'll fast forward and just show you guys what my eye look will be like. A typical eye look for me is just a little bit of brown, like, and then a darker brown in the crease, and it looks really, really good on me. But I think I'm gonna do some fun colors today. Guys, so this is kind of the fun dark look I did today. I don't know why, I was just inspired to do kind of like a darker look, but this is what we got. Next is eyeliner, which is a dark and mysterious book, which is just kind of a strange category, I feel like. And I use the Fenty Beauty eyeliner. And for a dark and mysterious book, I did The Price Guide to the Occult by Leslie Walton. I don't know, I was just looking at my books, and that's the one that stood out for me. Also, I always pull my eyelids to do eyeshadow, so this is probably going to go bad. Yeah, I can't do it without pulling my eyelids. I want to be like one of those normal girls, but also I use a felt tip eyeliner, so it's more difficult to get the eyeliner on. If I use like a liquid, I could probably do it without pulling my eyes, but I don't, so we're just going to give ourselves some premature wrinkles, which I don't really care about. I'm just going to do my highlighter. So for highlighter, it's a book that brightens your day. And I have, where's my highlighter? I have the Wet n Wild highlighting powder, which is honestly one of the best highlighters out there. And it's super cheap. It's only like $2.99, so definitely recommend. And a book that lightens up my day would definitely have to be, I put The Hidden Oracle by Rick Riordan. This is like a series that comes after the Percy Jackson series and the Lost Hero series. So it's after those 10 books. It takes place after those situations. And it's from the point of view of Apollo, who is cast down to Earth by Zeus in the body of a 16-year-old teenager with no magical powers. And he has a quest of retrieving all of the oracles because the bad people were able to take control of all the oracles, so there is no communication available between all of the gods and the demigods and everyone. Like, no one can communicate, so he has to get them all back. And it's just a really, really good book because he's hilarious, and you get to see all the other characters every so often and what's been going on in their life, and that is what makes it a wonderful time. So I really like that book. And now we're gonna do our mascara. Alright, and then for mascara, the question is a long book. Just a long book. That's fine. And I use L'Oreal's Lash Paradise because I think it's the best ever. But for this, I just decided to go with Heir of Fire by Sarah J Maas because it's a really long book, and it's actually my favorite book in the series. I think it's a really, really good book. Everyone else apparently hates it, but when I read it, I loved it. I mean, I read it a couple years ago, but I still really liked it. I really loved that she kind of got a break from all the horribleness that was going on in the world and like learned how to use her powers and stuff like that. I just thought it was a really good time, and I really liked the character that was introduced, and I really liked their romance, even though for some reason everyone else hates it, which I don't quite understand because I think they're really cute together. For today's lipstick, we're going with Boys Town by ColourPop. ColourPop is my favorite lipstick company. Super cheap lipstick and better quality and lasts longer than anywhere else that I get lipstick from. So love it the best. And this is my favorite book because lipstick to me is also my favorite part, so I agree with this person. Alright, let's just get this on. Alright, what is my favorite book? Oh, favorite book kiss, not favorite book, duh. Favorite book kiss, cause kissing. I put The Last Olympian. It's the 5th book in the Percy Jackson series by Rick Riordan, and it's when Percy and Annabeth kiss. I think that's just the best kiss of all time because the build up to it, it's been building up for 5 books for them to finally admit they like each other. Like, we've been waiting for it for so long that when you finally get it, it is so worth it. So that is definitely my favorite kiss of all time because it's seriously the cutest ever, have to say. But yeah, so this was my makeup book tag. This is my finished look. It's kind of fun. I love it. And I'm going to put some primer on because for some reason that's not a question, but I have the All-Star Primer by ColourPop, which also makes my skin feel very healthy. Like, you can just feel the stuff that's in it that's good for you. So, I like it. But yeah, I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, leave me a like down below. Tell me what you think of my makeup look. I didn't put that much time and effort in it, but I had fun. And if you guys have some books that you want to talk about with some of the topics that you really like, I'd love to hear. Maybe like your favorite last book in a series, because that's the one I had the most difficult with. So I'd love to hear what you guys think about that. But I love you all oh so very much, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye-bye!